Welcome to the Y Experience with your girl Monique Nicole, where this platform is designed to inspire, motivate, and empower individuals to reach their goals and dreams. Well, this week on this week's episode, we have none other than Miss Adrienne Satchell, attorney at law. Welcome, Adrienne. I'm so glad to have you on this platform. How are you doing today?
I am good. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here, Monique.
Awesome. So, as every guest gets asked, they get to answer, what is their why? Why are you Adrienne Satchell, attorney at law? And I know that we got the letters, so we're gonna let you do that part.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The why. I guess to start very to the back of why. When I was like 15 or 16 years old, I saw one of my dearest friends get railroaded by the justice system. That was definitely a goal for me to want to be an attorney. I wanted to be an attorney way before then. Since I was 5 years old, I've been saying I want to be an attorney. I'm going to be an attorney. And that experience with that friend kind of just added fuel to the fire. And I've just been trailblazing ever since. And I mean, it took me a while to get there, but I'm here. And
that's the biggest thing, because now we got to give everybody the build up to the story, because of the fact that you didn't take the traditional route. The route that you travel was completely different, so you know what? Well, let's go ahead and start there. So we're here, you're like, I'm not feeling what happened to my friend. Like this is not cool. I need to be in a position to be able to do something. So this is teenage high school years. Boop, boop, boop. Now, where are we after we graduate?
Well, where we after high school or
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So high school, after you graduate from high school, you're like, all right, I'm going to be an attorney. So I went to UNC Pembroke, concentrated in my major was political science, but concentration in pre-law. So I'm, head on, and then I get pregnant. So, that puts a little wrench there in the story. Got pregnant my daughter was born in 2001. So I continued on. I graduated on time. I went to summer school. I was determined.
Okay.
I did apply. My grades went down a little bit because I was being a mom at the same time as trying to be a full-time student. So my GPA was not the best.
But still, at the end of the day, Adrienne, that's a lot. Because you said you were gonna go get it. You threw summer school in there, because some people would have been like, I'm pregnant, I'm done, I got this, I'm still going, but you were doing that overachiever thing, like, we're gonna knock this out. I'm gonna graduate on time. I'm going to summer school. So I had to throw that in there because I don't want nobody to miss that. That's not slack.
Yeah, take a semester off and just take care of the babies. I was like, let me go to summer school, get my credits up, so that way when I come back off that semester, I'll still be on track to graduate. But, I decided to go straight through. I had good support from a lot of family, but it was still very hard as a young mother. I was 20 when I became a mother, so it was hard. But my GPA wasn't the best. It was a 2.9, so it wasn't like terrible, but, it wasn't the best.
But that wasn't for the overachiever.
And then, I applied to the law school. No one accepted me with that GPA.
No.
Yeah, no. And then, my LSAT score wasn't the best. And for people that don't know, it's a law school admission test. It wasn't the best because I was doing too many things. I was working, being a mom, and trying to study for the LSAT. So those things are not good combinations.
Gotcha.
So I didn't get accepted. So I went to grad school and got my master's. So I could have something to take care of my child.
Right.
And then I finished my master's in 2007, and I just worked. I could not find a job in my profession. My master's was in public administration.
Mm-hmm.
Could not find a job, no experience. Now I had a 3.9 GPA when I graduated.
Right.
But, nobody wanted me, no experience. So I just kept working at my job I had in college, where I was an insurance biller. I was a medical biller for like 9 optometry offices. Okay. So I just kept working, and then I was like, I'm moving to Charlotte. I was like, the job market's better, because I was in Fayetteville.
Okay.
I was like, the job market's better. I'm just gonna go. My mom, my sister lived there. I went there. I was determined, Monique, to get a job with my master's degree. I was like, I'm not accepting no job at all until I get where I want to be. Mm-hmm. Well, that didn't work out, because Bill started calling. Had to take care of the child.
Right.
So I took another medical billing / office manager job.
Gotcha.
And then fast forward to like 2016, 2015, my daughter was 15. And I was like, I'm ready to go to law school. And I applied to Charlotte School of Law, which is now permanently closed. That's a whole new story that we're going to get into. I got accepted at a full scholarship. And
okay, wait. Let's back up. Hold up. But you were in the midst of this. We got our master's degree. Mm-hmm. But because the employment situation wasn't working like it was supposed to be working, and then you got a bright idea to say that I was going back to law school. But where this come from?
Well, I've always, like I said, I've always wanted to be an attorney. And I was like, I was ready. Like, I didn't give up on my dream. I just put it to the side because I had to be a mom first.
But some people would have just said, man, it's just too late in the game. It's just too late in the game.
Never too late in the game.
Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to let you go ahead and tell them.
Never too late. You got to pursue your dreams no matter what. So I just kind of put it on the back burner, because I know a lot of us are moms. When we are raising our children, it's our children's time, right?
Yes,
we got to dedicate that time to our children to make sure their future is bright. So I just put my dream to the back burner. And then when my daughter became self-sufficient enough to be able to take care of herself, maybe cook a hot dog or two or some pasta while I was at the library studying, I said, I'm ready to go back. And I had a conversation with my child. And
how did she feel about it?
She was excited. She was a teenager. Mm-hmm. So, when I started, she was 16 or about to turn 16. So, 15, 16-year-olds don't show too much excitement unless it's for certain things.
Yeah. If it's about them. If it's about them, yeah.
But she was very supportive, always been supportive. And, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have made it through.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, so I decided to go back, and then the law school closed.
Now, what does that look like? Like, okay, we all hyped up, like, okay, you know what? The baby she's a teenager. She can do with me for a little bit. She can do without me for a little bit. Okay, I can go and I can jump and do this thing because I want to pursue my dreams, because I didn't come this far not to be able to do it. We get to the law school, mm-hmm. and because that's such an intricate part of your story, because mm-hmm. nobody would have thought that the school was going to close.
Me neither.
So what does it look like? You get into law school, you do everything, you're accepted. What do your days look like? What does that look like?
So my days were long. Like, law school was literally a culture shock.
Now, why do you say that?
Because throughout my journey of school, high school, I didn't really have to do that much work. It just came natural. Unless it was geometry. Or science.
I think we all had that one. So
my bachelor's degree, I did work, but I mean, I wasn't like working. And all my professors were like, "Oh my God, you write so well. You should be a writer." Like, I got so many comments on my writing in undergrad and grad school. And then I went to law school. And when I say I had to work hard for a C, I had to work overtime for a C. And C wasn't good enough for me, so I had to work triple time for a B.
So what was the difference? What was the difference between grad and then getting the law? I mean, from grad to law school. What was the difference in, because all of this time, majority of your life, your writing has been on point. School has just been, we slam dunked that. Right. And then we get to law school, and law school said, "Oh no, baby, what is this?"
Right. I was like, what? It's just the content. So, like, and when you write, you're always told not to repeat yourself, right?
Right.
It's like, okay, don't repeat yourself. No. In law, you repeat yourself.
Oh,
okay. So like it's this so when I started writing in law school, all my professors were like, "You can't write. Your writing sucks." And I was like, "What?"
Wow.
Never heard that. But it's this thing they call IRAC or crack. CRAC.
Okay.
And, it's the writing styles in law school. So IRAC stands for issue, rule, analysis, and conclusion. So that's how you break your paper up. And then some professors prefer crack, which is conclusion, rule, analysis, conclusion. So you put your conclusion in the very first paragraph, right? My mind couldn't.
Yeah, because that's not how we taught to write. Conclusion goes at the bottom.
Right. My mind couldn't process it. And it's like, why am I doing the conclusion again when I already did it here? And even the issue, you're still kind of doing the conclusion with the issue, because you're saying the issue is, can Peter be charged with murder? Yes, he can. So you're still doing your conclusion, but it's like, so it was weird writing for me. And I had to really get to it. But law school is hard, like the content, the classes. A lot of times, I think the difference between law school and regular school is that everything you take in law school, you have to remember for the bar.
Oh, okay.
All those subjects come back. So everything you took your first year, which we call 1L year, everything you took, torts, property, contracts, all of that stuff's on the bar. So you realize you take the bar 3 or 4 years after you take those courses. So you don't remember half of the stuff. So like when you go to grad school or you go to undergrad, you don't have to remember those things. Those things don't come back. You take the test and you're like, all right, I passed the test. I passed the class. I'm done.
Right.
Law school is like, okay, you passed the test for that class, you're done, but wait till you graduate and you got to take the bar, because you're going to see the contracts again. You're going to see constitutional law again. You're going to see property again. And all those things actually build on each other in law school. Like constitutional law is the foundation, and there's always some mixture of property and contract law and crim law. It's always like a crossover. So you got to make sure that you understand those subjects, or else you might struggle a little bit. So it's just hard. It's hard to explain, but it was a culture shock.
Got you. So with your culture shock, you are going, you're tracking, you're at school, the baby's doing her thing, or our teenager is doing her thing, and you're at school, you're doing late nights. What does that day look like? You're at school from one time to late at night, or you is it like a 9 to 5? You take your classes, you come home in between. What does your day look like?
So my day looked like, for my first year of law school, you can't work.
What you mean you can't work?
You can't work.
You can't work by choice, or they said you can't work?
The American Bar Association will not let you work your first year as a full-time school student. Yeah, you cannot work.
What?
Now they've lifted that rule up a little bit, but you can't work more than 20 hours. So, if you can't work more than 20 hours, that ain't doing nothing for you. So I didn't work, period. But if you're a full-time law student, they recommend that you do not work. And that recommendation is accurate. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
You live off your loans. Yeah. But my days started probably at like regular class, maybe a 9 o'clock class, maybe a 8:30 sometimes. But I was in class till maybe 2, 3. And then I was in the library until like maybe 2 in the morning, because what they say is for every 3 credit course, it's like 6 hours of study.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And that might be a little bit off, but it's a lot.
But still, if you got a full load, like you live in the library.
Yeah. So especially when you're trying to get the gist of law school and you're trying to learn, because in law school, some law schools, they only have one exam.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's your final. That final makes or breaks you. You don't have no other tests in between. Luckily, Charlotte School of Law gave some midterm exams, is basically what they were, but they were only worth 5% of your grade.
Oh, so they didn't really have any weight.
It really did not make you. It really did not. Whether you got an A or a B, that 5% was not going to hold you over for that 95% at the end of the year.
Wow.
So that was. It was tricky. So I spent a lot of time in the library. I didn't see my daughter a lot. We both sacrificed. And then Charlotte School of Law closed.
Now,
1 year at Charlotte School of Law.
Now, with all of that, that is like the craziest thing, because for those of us that, were paying attention to the news when it happened, because it was like, how did that happen?
Right.
And out of all the, the Charlotte School of Law closed, like, how does that happen?
Right.
So, Adrienne, we're going to school. We're going to school full time. You're not working. You're living off of student loans. And you got a baby. Matter of fact, it's not even a baby. She's not a baby. She's a teenager. So now, teenagers require, because I got grown folks now, but anyway, I still went through that phase. So got 4 of them. And then I got another one coming right up behind them. And so she's 11 and she asked for everything in the world. So with that being said, you have all of these responsibilities going on. So we're living off of student loans, and then the school closes.
Well, take a step back. The school started having trouble my first semester. So I got my refund check, got everything. My loans were good, living off my loans. I mean, your refund check's probably about between $11,000 and $15,000. So it's not a hard bit to live off of. You got to really scale some things back.
Right.
But, everything that's worth working for is sacrifice.
Absolutely.
And then by the time my second semester hit, Charlotte School of Law was really in trouble, where the Department of Education pulled our financial aid. So nobody was getting financial aid at all. So that means no loans. I wasn't working. Nothing was coming in at all.
So now we come down to the part, do you have a support system?
Luckily, I do. My mom, my sister cousin, they supported me heavy. I mean, I call her my sister cousin because we're like sisters. I love her to death. She paid my rent for 3 months, paid my car payment for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
My sister helped pay my light bill. Like, everybody just came together as community to help me to continue with my dream.
That is so awesome.
So
I'm yes.
That
would hit me. That would hit me a little bit. Because whenever you have a dream as old as, and I can attest to this, okay? Because you know, we went to school together, so I can attest, okay, to elementary school, and we standing up there like this, and I don't remember what class it was, but I just remember it was me and you. So let me just throw that in there. When I saw you graduate, I was like, yo, she did it. Like, yo, she did it. Like, for real, she did it. Like, this was a childhood dream, and you made that thing happen. So it's you know, I'm just water anyway. So that's just what it is. But the fact that your family came together, they pulled you, they held you up so that you can keep pursuing your dreams. And with all of the adversity though, because at the end of the day, there's still that mental thing of it's Adrienne. There's that mental part that you're still Adrienne and you're still the mother of your daughter, because I feel like your kids, that's like you said, you know, I had my daughter and then it was time to kick in to be a parent.
That's it.
When you and I got 5 of them. So when you step back and you're like, okay,
I can imagine,
honey. So that's like yours times 2, 3, 4, 5. But when you sit there and you know that weight's on your back, and even though you have the support system, it's still you, and you mentally going through. Would you say? Do you feel like? No, matter of fact, let's talk about that. Let's talk about them lonely times, or them times when you're by yourself and all this stuff is going on. Like you call and they're like, or not call, but you get noticed that, hey, the school's shutting down and they done took my check. Like, what is this? Like, y'all told me that I can't go to work, even though you couldn't go to work even if you wanted to. But that's not the point. Point is that y'all said I can't go to work. So now I don't have student loans. I don't have money to survive, because that's what we need to do to survive.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to accomplish this goal. And I know that thing starts to sit there and you solo, just not Adrienne with the support system, but just Adrienne by herself. Right. How did you get through those moments?
Oh man. A lot of tears, a lot of crying to myself to sleep at night, a lot of praying, a lot of faith. If it weren't for God, I tell you what, I would not be where I am now and would never gotten through what I've been through. And you know, my daughter was my inspiration. Like, I wanted my daughter to see that no matter what adversity comes your way, you can beat it, you know? And so, I mean, I felt like stones were being thrown at me and everything else. I can imagine. Right. But it was just like, I was like, I can't give up on my dream. I mean, at one point in time, I was like, God, is this meant for me? Is you telling me that I'm not supposed to be an attorney? Like, right. What's happening here, guys?
They took the whole school away.
Right. The whole school scholarship. And now you're telling me I can't go to school no more. I was like, maybe I'm just not meant to be an attorney. Like, many times I thought about giving up. I did. But it's my dream. It was my lifelong dream. Is what I wanted to be. And no matter how costly it was, no matter how hard it was, I was determined I was going to do it. And so when the school closed, I sat out for a year, and I got the news the same time everybody else got the news. I literally was preparing to get ready for school the next day, because the fall semester was beginning. And then as I'm watching the news, I see Charlotte School of Law permanently closed.
No.
Yeah, so it was like they sent us
an email. Get a heads up.
Yeah, they didn't send us an email, like it was a call, nothing. When you found out, I found out. And so it was like, what? Okay. And we knew the school was in trouble. Like, everybody that went, like a lot of my friends jumped ship and went to apply to different law schools. And I didn't, because I had a full scholarship. So I was like, I'm gonna ride this wave until I can't ride it no more. Right?
Of course. Why would you give that up?
I was like, if I don't have to get in no debt, then why would I get in debt?
Right.
And so when I found out the school closed, one of my really good friends, she had already transferred to Charleston School of Law. She called and she talked to the dean, and the dean was like, yeah, just tell her to put her application in. She can start, as late as next week. She just got to move to Charleston. And I had a child, so I was like, I can't just get up and move to a whole different city and state without nothing, no planning.
Right.
So I decided to sit out a semester.
Wow.
A year. Actually sat out a year, and then I went back in 2018.
Wow. So then at that time, then you were able to go ahead and transition. Boom, boom. We graduate. And now we are here.
We are here, Monique.
So I'm going to allow you to let the people know how your title goes. Your name is Adrienne. No, I'm gonna let you do it. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Well, what I prefer.
Your preference. Go ahead. Let's do the preference. My bad.
Is Adrienne Z Satchell, comma, ESQ. ESQ is short for Esquire. Esquire is just basically meaning you're a practicing attorney. So when I graduated from law school, behind my name was JD for Juris Doctor, meaning that I graduated from law school at a Juris Doctor. And technically you're a lawyer, but you're not a practicing lawyer because you got to pass the bar. So once you pass that bar, you become ESQ.
Oh, well, okay, ma'am, because, we had to put some respect on your name, as you would say. Okay.
Please. It took a long road to get here.
Listen, because it's well deserved, because what is so special about your story is because it was a childhood dream. And then when you became the teenager, and then, that extra fire gets kicked in, like, yo, I don't like what y'all just did to my friend or whatever. I'm not feeling that. I need to be in a position to make change. Right. Now, your story touches so many spheres because of the fact that you're actually doing what a lot of people talk about doing. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times when we want to make change, we always say, well, you need to get into place to make change.
Right.
And we do a lot of this.
Right.
And despite all of your adversities, because the one thing that is the really pinnacle turning point that nobody would have thought about was that the school closed down. And you could have taken that moment and been like, okay, God, what you really trying to tell me? Because, nobody would have thought that this school was going to close. Like, what is this? What are we doing? Okay.
I had that conversation.
I got a baby. They done told me I can't work. And I'm reiterating this because I need people to understand that when you are a parent and you are trying to do combination of school, and then they tell you can't work, because you could have slid up in there and said, well, let me go do this over here. And whatever you wanted to do on the side, you could have, those were options. You could have did that. But, you trying to track it the way you're supposed to. You don't talk to everybody. You don't talk to your daughter because your moves are going to affect her.
Right.
And then everything comes together, and then it starts to shake up. But then at the end of the day, you stand here, and now you are a practicing attorney off of a dream, of a childhood dream. And your path did not go like everybody else's went. But the point of the matter is that you didn't quit.
We're here. We made it.
Girl, you didn't quit. And I'm just letting everybody know that, if you got that dream and that's what you want to do, then you keep on going. No matter what comes at you. Because like I said, you could have turned around and been like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
I had my time.
Thought about it. Thought about it. Many a times I thought about it.
And then kudos goes out to your family because they held you up. They roll with you, because some people, they were like, no, I'm not getting involved.
Yeah. I thank God for my family. But it is, a lot of people get discouraged from their dreams, and not so easily because there's a lot of adversity that comes your way. But no matter what mountains you have to climb, life is short. You have to achieve your dreams and climb those mountains. My best friend, she passed away at 33, and she really taught me, like, you got to go get it while you're here.
Right.
because once you're gone, ain't nothing to get.
That's the God honest truth right there. It's over with. This game over, you know. So I just think that your story is just like, yo, that's all I could say is when I saw it. That's why I sent little hearts. That's all I could say was like, yo, she did it. Like, for real, she did it. So I just said, oh my God, I said, I got to get her on the YA experience because, you know, it's not traditional and you can have your dreams. That's, and I'm going to keep saying it because that's just how I feel about it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to your law firm. Would you like to tell everybody who you actually, what firm you're a part of?
Of course. So I'm a practicing attorney in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, most people don't know this, or most people don't think this, but I'm a North Carolina attorney, so that means I can practice in all 100 counties.
Okay. So you're not limited. Okay.
Not limited. I can do law in Fayetteville. I can do law in Durham, Raleigh. As long as it's North Carolina, I'm licensed to practice there. But I work for the Snow Legal Group. I have worked for the Snow Legal Group since 2017. I started as my I guess what to call him. I don't know. He don't like when I call him my boss. My colleague that pays me. I was his intern in law school. Okay. And then when the law school closed, I started working for him as his law clerk for the year that I sat and kind of learned the law a little bit. But it's called the Snow Legal Group.
Okay. And do you want us to go ahead and go into let's go ahead and go to the website. And let me jump back real quick. We're gonna go to the homepage. So I want to make sure that we screen them properly. Let me take all this other stuff off because that wasn't supposed to be there. Boom. So, okay. So all we do is log on to the wonderful internet and we're going to go to www.snowlegal.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we arrive there, we will see this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shot of Charlotte with Snow Legal. Now, the areas that your practice areas. Now, you want to break this down for us? So we got federal crimes, murder and homicide, drug charges and trafficking, rape, sex offenses.
So we do it all.
Look, because I was getting ready to say, like, I don't know what else to say.
We do it all. If it's criminal, we do it. Whether it be a misdemeanor, whether it be a felony, whether it be a serious felony such as murder, drug charges and trafficking, rape and sex offenses, and whether it be a federal crime, we do it all. My specialty, what I specialize in, is going to be criminal law.
Okay.
Now, my firm does do a couple other things like personal injury. I don't really touch that personal injury sector, but my colleague Kenneth Snow, which is the owner,
okay,
Snow Legal. He's been practicing law for about 25 years, so he does criminal. He's actually my mentor. He taught me what I know.
Okay.
And he does personal injury, but yes, we do it all. If you in trouble,
they just call Snow Legal.
Call Snow Legal.
And now, we're not limited to the entire state of North Carolina.
The entire state. Now I will give this tidbit. Okay. If it's like an assault charge, which is a misdemeanor, just pure simple assault, and you live in Durham or Fayetteville or Burlington, North Carolina, 2.5, 3, 4 hours away, you probably want to call Snow Legal because you're gonna pay more for the travel And that's any law. That's any law firm. That's just a tip for anybody, because with those misdemeanor cases, they are set on the docket many times. So attorneys have to continue to travel to those areas. So if you're 2.5, 3 hours away, then your attorney is going to charge you for that travel time.
So that is a factor. If you want to be absolute, saying, "Hey, I want to go with snow legal," just please consider the fact that we do have to travel to you, we'll take care of you, but we're gonna have to travel and we're gonna have to charge you.
Exactly. We'll definitely take care of you, and we will definitely try to yield the best results for you for the case. But those are things that anybody, that's just a jewel for anybody that is looking for an attorney, whether it be snow legal or anywhere outside that realm, that if your attorney has to travel, that is factored in to the price.
Gotcha. And that's a given. That's a given. Yeah, right. Absolutely. So is there like a certain, since we're here, a certain area that you prefer to practice on? Or that you, we're not going to say preference. We're going to say that you like this area. I don't know how to say it, but this is an area that you like. This is just, your special area.
I have two places that I do love. Two parts of criminal law I love. One, it's going to seem a little bit morbid and maybe kind of out of like, what? But I love homicide.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now, why is that?
I know, right? Like, what? In North Carolina, homicide is, if you're charged with homicide, you're convicted of murder, first-degree murder. It's life imprisonment.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Without parole.
Oh, that's just a given. I didn't know that. Like, off the bat.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we get our murder cases, and I read the discovery, which is the evidence that the state has. When I read discovery and I see that something's not right about this case, a life was lost, and that is tragic. However, it don't seem like the person they charged is the correct person. Now, I'm not saying that's all my homicide cases I have, but
but that's what can happen when you open it up.
And so, and when I've done 4 homicide trials, not guilty. Okay. Put that out there. Not guilty or hung jury. So I'm your go-to. But but just to see my last homicide case was a Hispanic guy. He spent 5 years in jail waiting for his case to be tried. And the evidence just was like not there. It was so much not there that it took the jury less than 45 minutes to deliberate and bring a not guilty verdict.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But he spent 5 years of his life behind bars because they didn't give him a bond. They wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't let him. The judge denied his bond. So once he got the not guilty, and to see him cry and to see the relief that was off of his chest from this heavy homicide, and that he's not going to spend the rest of his life in prison for something he didn't do, that's a feeling that I could never, ever describe. It was so much that he made me cry. It wasn't and it's a difference when someone's like, yes, I got off, versus something like that cry of relief that
burden is now gone,
that I'm innocent. So that is probably one of my favorite parts of the job, is giving people their lives back. And that's a perfect segue to my second favorite, is expunctions. I love expunctions because expunctions give people a second chance. For people that don't know what expungements are, it's basically erasing your past criminal record.
Okay.
And it opens the door. It's almost like, I kind of always compare it to, it's like winning the lottery, because everything you couldn't do beforehand when you had that criminal record, you can do now.
Got you.
Before you got denied for your apartments, Now that that's gone, that's not a hindrance anymore. You know, you couldn't get federal financial aid. That's no longer a hindrance. You can go back to school. So it's almost like it's a second chance. And I've seen so many people succeed after I do expungements because they're like, my record's clear. I'm good to go. I did something dumb at 17. Now I'm clean at 25, 30 years old. So I don't have to keep my past hunting me up. But I've seen failure stories. People clear that record and then they put something right back on the record. You know, it's
all like, what do we go through that for?
Right. It's all about the choices you make. But expungements are my heart. I love them. I love them because it's life-changing for people, especially for people that have just been suffering from their past decisions that weren't so smart. We don't all make smart decisions. None of us, we all made dumb decisions. And
especially when we're young. So
especially when we're young, and sometimes even when we're old, because of our emotions, because we're human, we're emotional. So when people get that relief, it makes me feel good. That's one reason.
Well, I think that's awesome. I wanted to allow you to finish because I thought about the homicide thing. And I was thinking as you were talking about how when you get charges or you're arrested or whatever the case may be, it's as though even as simple as contracts, there's a whole nother language that you guys speak. And that's the reason why people always say, oh, well, you need to make sure you get your own attorney, because there's all of that fine line stuff to where it's, as you were saying, even when going into law school, they were like, hey, you're writing, you're doing all of the 3 points in your conclusion, and they were like, well, we want your conclusion at the first part, and you got to do all this other stuff. And when somebody truly is passionate about their job and understanding that, yes, hey, this don't look right, no, this doesn't make sense, and then the reward to come back and then watch, because you had to be that voice.
Right.
Because he was sitting behind bars for 5 years, and you had to come in and be a voice for him to say, hey, judge, this is what we need to do to get through the process, because he and we don't know nothing about any of that stuff when we can walk into a courtroom. That is a foreign language to us. So to be able to take out the time, put in the work, and then be able to be that voice of reckoning for somebody to say, hey, yes, I did 5 years behind because of the system, but you came in, looked through all of the evidence, and then pleaded the case, and I got my life. Right. And the same thing, even with the expungements, I don't feel like, people fully understand that they have that as an option.
Right.
And I wanted to know, could you give any more examples? Even though we generalized it with, people make mistakes, simple as that. But things that we can arrest, some of the things that some people don't realize they could probably get expunged. Are there certain types of charges, quote unquote, because we kind of keep it legal. So right. There's certain types of charges that, that typically we can just say, hey, Adrienne, I want to get this expunged off my record. That some people typically just wouldn't know that, hey, I had that as an option.
Well, most misdemeanors are going to be easy to expunge. Now, there's there's a caveat to that, and there are some exceptions to that rule, but for just a general rule, since we're generalizing, misdemeanors are typically going to be able to be expunged. Felonies. That's when you really can't generalize, because there's very limited felonies that can be expunged, and without not going into too much detail.
Right, of course.
No violent felonies can be expunged. So murder can't be expunged. Robbery can't be expunged. A felony like larceny of a motor vehicle, larceny by employee, stuff like that can be expunged because it's not violent.
Okay.
And then if you have an assault case, simple assault on a government official, assault on a female, anything that has assault in it in North Carolina is considered violent. So it's not, you cannot expunge it. Now, that's if you're convicted of it. If it's been dismissed, then it can, if you were charged with murder and you were found not guilty, or they dismissed that case, that's expungable.
Gotcha. Because it still does sit on your record.
It sits on your record. Now, if you were found guilty of murder, that's when you can't expunge it.
Gotcha.
But like simple assault, those things, as long as they're dismissed or not guilty verdict, they can go away. But a conviction of an assault charge, those have to stay.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But yeah, most people don't know. So like, if you're like, I tell people all the time, because statistically, the North Carolina expunction laws are not utilized. Like, I think like maybe, and this is not an accurate number, but just a guesstimate, probably about 60% of people don't utilize the North Carolina expunction laws because they don't know if they're eligible or not, and they don't go into it. So if you think, or if you're like, you know what, I don't know if I'm eligible, I want to try it, because it can be life-changing, and just take it off.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. So, Adrienne, what would you, because what would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody that's sort of traveled the same thing and they're just like, man, I want to quit? What would you say? Because I know we said a lot, but I want you to give your heart to them. Like, if somebody said, hey man, Adrienne, I'm just like, I'm done. I done did this, I done did this, I done did this, and I done did this, and it's not working. But this is something that I've always wanted to do. What would you say to them?
I would tell them, don't give up. And I would tell them, it sounds cliche, but it's all due in God's timing. Our timing is not God's timing. So if God doesn't have that for you right now, and he wants you to do something else, then no matter what you do, it's never going to work out until God is ready for it to work out. So I always say, pray about it, seek.
We froze.
What I'm supposed to do, and just guide me, order my steps. But outside the religious box,
do me one favor. You did freeze real quick. So could you repeat that for me one more time?
Yes, maybe. No, I would just say, pray about it. Talk to God. Ask God to order your steps. If it's meant for you, then it will come to light in God's timing for you. But outside of that, I would say don't give up. Keep making the strides. Like, when one door closes, another door opens, and that's the truth. Doors close for a reason, because it's not for you. Gotcha. There's another door for you, right? Stop trying to crawl through that window to get to that same door that closed.
Right.
Just keep going and keep making your steps, and God will keep guiding you, and God will open that door when it's the time. He'll open the right door when it's the right time. So just keep faith. Walk by faith. That's the best thing I can tell anybody, is walk by faith.
Gotcha.
And if you're not religious, then just keep pushing, because
stay positive.
That's it.
Look, because I'm gonna say, all I can say is, whenever I tell my story, I said there's no way it is as awful under this God green earth. There's no way I could have got through if it weren't for him. I'm telling you that, stuff from my life makes absolutely no sense. But if it wasn't for him, I'm telling you, I would not be here right now. That's all it is. I would not be sitting here talking to you. This platform would not be here, because it all goes to him. So
absolutely.
Well, Miss Satchell,
I enjoyed it.
That's why. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I enjoyed it. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to do this, Monique. I hope the viewers have enjoyed it. And I hope maybe it was an inspiration to somebody to just not give up.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you being open enough to share your story in such transparency, because, you know, the purpose of this platform is to uncover stuff to where that people see the beginning. And I say this all the time. I've said it several times. They see the beginning. Yeah, they heard. Yeah. Then they see the end and they were like, oh, well, she did this. But nobody talks about that middle transition. And so with the fact that you were so candid and so transparent, that I truly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your story, because the goal is that we're supposed to be inspiring, motivating, and encouraging folk to just keep going.
Absolutely. It's rough. It's rough, Monique. It was rough. A lot of tears, a lot of broke days, you know, a lot. But if it's your dream, it's worth it all. It honestly is. There's nothing in this world I would go back and change.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good stuff right there. Because some people will sit there and say, oh, I would have changed this and I would have changed that. But you know what I would say? It gives you that thing of that extra appreciation.
It makes me appreciate, like, now that I'm here, because just like you, when you said you saw my story, I graduated, you were like, she did it. I was the same way. I was like, I did it. Right? Like, how did I get here? Because
right.
It was a lot. It was rough. So, you know, it's gotta keep going. And too many people stop when it's right around the corner.
Yes. Yes. I was just telling somebody that today. They get to that, you know, that 3/4 mile, and it's like, oh, we here, and you almost to the finish line, and then man, I just give up. Like, wait a minute, you were right there. Like, what are you doing?
There. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
well, I thank you. And so this is going to conclude this week's episode. If you want to reach Attorney Satchell, she can be reached at 704-644-8325 by phone, or Adrienne at snowlegal.com. Also, if you skip it and you don't want to email, just go to the website. You can still contact the main line and ask for you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, as we do every week, now I got a dog in here. My bad. So now I'm trying to talk, and the dog is under the thing. But as we do at the end of the interview, then they let him out. See, keep the dogs back there. But anyway, I'm not editing none of this either, so you know. But anyway, yes, ma'am. Okay. So remember, everything is all things I am Monique Nicole. Facebook, Instagram is I am Monique _Nicole. YouTube is I am Monique Nicole. Thank you very much. Remember, like, share, and subscribe.